I am now on the train for the African exhibit. Here's some of the animals that we're about to see.
All aboard, everyone. Welcome to the Safari Railway. Before we leave the station, I need to go through a few safety things. Please keep your hands and feet inside the train at all times and remain seated. There's no eating or drinking on the train, and the Toledo Zoo is a smoke-free facility, including electronic cigarettes.
Hear that, girl? Don't eat cigs.
We're too young anyway. We would go to jail. Or die by now, actually. Daddy, look at this. Daddy, look at it.
As we leave the station, you can wave goodbye to the train crew and shout Kwaheri. Kwaheri means goodbye in Swahili. Another word in Swahili is Jambo. Jambo means hello. So Jambo, my name's Allison. I'll be your narrator today. I'm going to do my best to point out those animals for you and give you a few fun facts about each of them. Now the first ones that we're going to come to are kind of hiding right now, but they are the African wild dogs. If you look directly across the savannah, you can see them laying down just on that hill over there. We'll be able to get a close-up view once we go around, and as well after we get done with the watering hole, when we're coming back up the hill into the station, you can glance again at them. These animals are pack animals, which means they hunt in groups. In the wild, they have about a 70% accuracy rate. That's more than any large predator out on the savannah. They're commonly confused with hyena, but hyena are related to cats and are a part of the feline family, and these guys are related to dogs, so they're a part of the canine family. If you glance just beyond that gazebo, you'll see all three of them laying down. We have 3 total here at the Toledo Zoo, 2 female and 1 male. The male is the one with the yellow ring, or the black ring on the bottom of his tail. If you look at their fur, you can see why they're also called the African painted dog. When these guys have puppies, they have up to 18 in 1 litter. That's a lot of puppies, but only 1 female will have them, and the rest of the adults in the group will help take care and raise that litter. Now, as we go by this building, there's really nothing interesting to look at, so you can look right above your heads at the yellow side of the sign. Yellow side is all the live animals we're going to see. Behind you on the green side, those are all of the sculptures we're going to see once we get out on the savannah. Once we get out on the savannah, you guys can glance over, and I'm sure the first thing you're going to look at are those beautiful Maasai giraffes. I'm going to talk about them in specific later, but just general things. We have 5 total here at the Toledo Zoo, 4 female and 1 male, but I will talk about them in specific once we get towards the tunnel. The first animal I'm going to highlight are the small deer-like animal near the Jeep. Those animals are impala. Impala can run 60 miles an hour, as well as they can jump over this train if they wanted to. We have 3 female impala here at the Toledo Zoo, so you won't see any horns on their head. Right next to the impala, the 2 zebra. In the world, there are 6 different subtypes of zebra, and we have the smallest variety here at your Toledo Zoo. They still weigh between 500 and 700 pounds, though. Zebra can actually run up to 40 miles an hour, a little known fact about them. We have 2 males here at the Toledo Zoo, no female zebra. Speaking of 2 males, behind the zebra, the animals with the twirled horns, those are greater kudu. They are both males as well. They're actually brothers, and they fight like brothers too, trust me. On their back, you'll see 6 to 10 vertical stripes. That's so they can disguise themselves in tall grasses. Those twirly horns that you're looking at can grow to be 6 foot long. Now on either side of you, you have bamboo growing. That's regular bamboo on your left-hand side, pygmy bamboo on the side closest to the savannah. We have a lot of different types of plants growing out here because the majority of our animals are grazers. Different animals prefer different types of grass and different parts of the grass, as well as like new growth and old growth, that kind of thing. Now out here in the grass, I'm going to point it out before you guys spot it, is a sculpture of a dead zebra. Do not worry, that is just a sculpture to represent the circle of life. No injured zebras out here. We would never leave that for you guys to see. On the side of the train as well, once we get up here, you're going to see a nest of ostrich eggs. They're kind of disguised right now by some grasses, but those ostrich eggs are going to weigh about 3.5 pounds each.
I know.
Ostrich eggs are the equivalent of 24 chicken eggs. That is a lot. That's just to give you some perspective. If you were to hard boil it, it would take you about an hour and a half. A group of ostrich eggs is called a clutch, like the clutch on your car. Ostriches actually lay eggs in a communal nest. That means all of the females in a group will share one nest instead of having their own nests individually. It makes it easier for them to take care of those eggs. Out here at the front of the train, you're going to see two of our East African crowned cranes. East African crown cranes live to be about 22 years old, and they grow to be about 3.5 foot tall. These East African crown cranes aren't as old as the ones we're going to see a little bit later on in the train, so they don't look exactly like your picture above your head, but they are named for those yellow feathers on top of their head. Those birds are monogamous, which means they mate for life, one of the only birds to do that. As well as they're the national bird of Uganda, so that's a fun fact about them. Speaking of birds, down here in the grass, once you get where the front of the train is, you'll see these small speckled birds running throughout. Those are the helmeted guinea fowl. Helmeted guinea fowl are the long distance runners of the savannah. They run 20 to 30 miles every single day. They're named for that skin flap on top of their head. It makes it look like they're wearing a helmet. They're the ones that you can hear as well. Once we get past these trees, we're going to talk about these Watusi cattle right here. These three large brown animals right here are Watusi cattle. Watusi cattle have been extinct in the wild since the 1600s, but they're bred domestically. That's how we have them here at the Toledo Zoo. You guys are getting an excellent view of them. They're commonly called king's cattle because among the elite in other countries, they're used as a currency. Now these three are all males. You can tell because they have those horns on their heads. The horns on their head can grow to be 8 foot from tip to tip. The leader of a pack of Watusi cattle is determined by which male has the longest horns. Interesting fact about them is that they can thrive in both cool and warm temperatures, unlike the other animals on the savannah that prefer it to be a lot warmer outside.
Let them live out in the wild anymore.
Like cows. There's a wild cow.
On this end of the savannah as well, the white-headed vulture does hang out, but he is hiding right now, so you guys won't be able to get that great of a view of him if you can even see him at all. If you had his keen sense of eyesight, though, you would be able to spot him out really quick. When he's flying above the savannah, he can spot a dead animal and alert the rest of the animals to that. I do not see him right now, but if you did see him, he would look just like a bald eagle. He's a scavenger, which means he does not hunt live animals for his food. He waits for the animals to die, and then other animals eat the meat off, and then he eats the leftover scraps. That's why he's considered to be a member of nature's cleanup crew. A little bit later on in the train ride, we're going to see another member of nature's cleanup crew, so don't worry, you'll get to see the Cape Griffin vulture over at the watering hole. These two large dirt-looking mounds towards the front of the train, those are actually not dirt, they're termite mounds. Termite mounds are constructed by elephants originally. They'll come by and knock down the tree and strip it of its bark for food or for moisture during the dry months. When the elephant does that, the tree will of course die, and then the termites come in and eat the dead wood for food and build their home there. The one closest to you is an active termite mound. The one farthest away is an abandoned one, but it is recycled like most things on the savannah, so birds will use it as a lookout point or to build their nests. A lot of different things happen. In the center of the savannah, laying down the two animals with the horns on top of their head and the long tails and the long faces, those are wildebeest. Wildebeest are unique in the fact that both male and female will have those horns. It's African legend that they were the last ones to be created. Now you see that giraffe trying to get those leaves off the tree with his tongue. Giraffes have a prehensile tongue, which means they can use it to grasp things like we use our hands. If we get a close-up look at one of the giraffes, you'll see that their tongue is a dark blue color. That's so it doesn't get sunburnt when they're grabbing those leaves off the trees all day like that giraffe is doing right now. Here at the Toledo Zoo, like I said, we have 4 female and 1 male giraffe. If you glance in the middle, that giraffe that's significantly shorter than the rest of them, that's Mahadi. She's our baby giraffe. She's only been out on the savannah for a few weeks, and she's only 13 months old total. Guys in the back of the train, be sure to not lean out. Be sure to keep yourself inside the train at all times. Thank you. Back to those giraffes though, if you look at their long necks, you would probably think that they have a lot more bones than you and I do, but in fact we have the same number in our neck, which is 7. Their vertebrae are just a lot larger. Center of the savannah, an adult East African crown crane looks a lot more like your picture above, not like the ones we saw earlier. As well as when we come up here, I think the female ostrich are along this fence. You guys probably know that ostrich are the largest birds in the world, but what you might not know is that they have an eyeball that is larger than their brain. Usually out on the savannah we have 2 female and 1 male ostrich, but today we just have our 2 female for you guys. But it looks like they're coming over to the train to say hello. Giraffes have long legs that can easily get caught in the mud at the watering hole, so they don't frequent it as much as the other animals do. But when they do go, they drink up to 10 gallons of water at once. You guys are going to get an excellent view of these giraffes right before we go into the tunnel.